So it's building a relationship with the source of all. It's coming to understand or open doors where we can put things into perspective about our lives and to learn about love, because that is the cornerstone of everything in the universe. You'll find out as you talk to these angelic beings, they talk about love a lot. And primarily they talk about God's love, divine essence, and how that is a transformative, catalytic agent that will change us all and bring us to that higher level of understanding. So when Jean and I and others who are here create these what we call circles of light, we're reaching for that place so that we can get more understanding, energy, transformative energy, so that we can be more in alignment with that. And I tell you, once you get on that road and sort of get in the flow of that, you just go up like that. You will absolutely notice a difference in your own energy, in the atmosphere around you, and in what happens in your life. It all starts changing because you're introducing into your life the highest energies that are possible on this earth plane.
The universe.
And the universe, sure. Let's go to the universe. And
or a money back guarantee.
Yeah. So our agenda for today and for the next few sessions that we get together is to help you connect with that. We're not here to do evidential mediumship. We're not here to prove anything. I think if you need proof, then maybe you might be in the wrong spot, because we're not going to prove anything here other than your own experience. It's going to be highly subjective. Highly subjective. So it's whatever you get out of this is going to be, will be determined by how open you are to it. How putting aside the mind and maybe some skepticism, maybe some fear, maybe some doubt, to try and put all that aside and get to that place of openness where things start flowing. And that's when you know the soul is being activated. If you're up here and if we do a meditation together and you're thinking about your grocery list or something, then you know you're not there.
You two better be careful.
But if you're feeling uplifted, if you feel there's a quality of love that comes with these angelic beings that is unlike anything else. It's unlike anything else you'll experience in life. You know, maybe a mother's love might be the closest you would feel, if that sense of safety and warmth and comfort and all of that. Maybe that is fairly close, but this is something else altogether. This is God's soul to your soul. And God doesn't expect you to believe anything, to have some kind of strict ritual or way of doing it. That's not God at all. God is just open to you, and He wants you to be open to God. I say He, you could put anything there that you want. I look at God as He. It's kind of a habit almost, and I don't even know whether I'm right about that, but that's how I see God. And so this is open. This is, we're eager that you will experience something, that you'll have something that will intrigue, will excite, will make you question and think about things, will help you to connect with these angels that are always eager to connect with us. and you'll learn how to draw them to you. That's most important. Because if you don't know how to do that, then it's likely you won't feel it or you won't know it. And so we're hoping to inform you and to educate and to help you open up that capacity to connect. And some here are very good mediums and they've connected already, some way or another. Some might think that what they're connecting to is celestial, but it might not be, because there's a lot of very high spirits in the realms and the realities of spirit. There are many spirits that would love to help us all in many different ways. But this is something of a particular way, and opening that is kind of unique, and it's not well known. I don't, we've been around the block a few times, and we don't know a lot of people that know about this stuff. So, we go in kind of cold turkey many times with circles, and they've never heard of what we do. They may assume that it's, what I do and, what they might do and what they might think and all that. But it's a bit different. So, again, we're trying to help you delineate the difference. Now, it's up to you, of course, to choose whether you want to go there or not. You might have your own ideas and views of things and how this all works. And it might be different from ours. And that's just fine. But to have the opportunity together as a circle to build the energy and bring that influence, that energy to us, which is already here, by the way. I'm feeling it like crazy, so I don't know whether anybody else is.
Anybody feel it? Feel it?
It makes you a little lightheaded. We're just the instruments of the angels. So what we might say or what we might do is hopefully guided and will come through clearly to you all. Because I always think they're in control, not me. I'm happy for them to have control, because I think what I have to share and how I think and who I am in comparison to them, I'm just a baby. They have, some of them have had thousands of years of spiritual growth. But they all have a soul that's been transformed by this love, this energy. It's changed them. And it qualifies them to enter into these spheres of the celestial heavens. So when their souls are awakened and they keep telling us, awaken, 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 keep praying for this divine love, then we will go there too. I know this is how it works. It doesn't mean you don't go through all the other spheres of spirit, in the process. You keep traveling up. But there is a glass ceiling, if you will, for spirit. And those that go the mindful route won't go there because it's not compatible. When you go the soulful route, it's more about feeling than it is about thought. It's more about opening here rather than opening up here. Both can happen. I'm not saying that you don't open up here at all, but the focus is here in the soul. And when you feel, if you've been to a Divine Love circle and you feel that expansion, that energy feeling, that signature of something is going on, there's some energy influence that's happening, there's some inner things that are happening, then you are then tuning into your soul, and you're being helped to tune into your soul because around the circle, every one of us has an angel standing behind you. You can be assured of that. So when we do these things, well, we're going to have a kind of a prayer and a bit of a meditation session. That's when you really feel it. Because now I'm talking, I'm using my head, I'm using my words and my mind, and I'm trying to talk to you about things, in a material way. And even the angels will do that when they speak, they have to speak in words and convey information. But the real fireworks happen when the words stop and the feelings start emerging and the experiences. And if any of you are at all psychic, you're going to see stuff. And they'll help you see stuff. So when you're dealing with the world of spirit, it's a different world. How things operate in that world is different. They're not having to deal with a lot of the material encumbrances of this world. So things are more aflow, things are more about sensing and the direct action that comes about through your desire. So spirit are able to move like that from one place to another, just by the thought of doing so. Things like that. That's just one small example. So their reality is different. Their reality is different. But for me, and I think for many of us who have come to a place like this, you want to know more. You want to know more about that, because really this side of life is fleeting. It's nothing. It's just a moment in eternity. Most of the action is going to be on the other side. Most of your life is going to be lived on the other side. Now, some of you might believe in reincarnation, all that, or I'm not going to get into all that stuff, but this, in my understanding of things, we progress through spheres, layer upon layer of spheres, until we get to a higher place. In the lower spheres, and there are spheres that are very close to the Earth, the conditions that are like Earth are like that in spirit. So my advice is to avoid that, to actually do spiritual work here on Earth. Because if you do that, whatever way you do it, you're going to reap the rewards of that on the other side. You're going to go to a higher sphere that is more enlightened and of light. The spheres around the Earth are gray. And unfortunately, with many mediums, especially people who want to open up mediumship and are kind of forcing opening up that mediumship, as I said, we can all do it. They're kind of tuning into the gray areas. Not saying everybody, but a lot are. So they're getting kind of snippets, they're getting little bits and pieces, and they're getting little impressions about spirits that are around them. And it can be fun and it can be helpful to people, if you're clear with it and your intention is good, it can be good. But, often people almost stumble into it and they don't know what they're dealing with, and often they're not dealing with very good energies. So again, I want to stress that it's the intention and the desire that brings the result when you're dealing with spiritual matters. That's the very basic premise of it. It's what you want and how you get it will determine much about what happens. And if you want to do mediumship for recognition or power or maybe a bit of control or money or something, something in the lower material planes, You could probably do it. I've met people who do it. I had the experience of psychic surgery, where I had a medium go right into my body with their hand and pull stuff out and stuff like that in the Philippines. And they weren't particularly enlightened people. They did amazing things. I was pretty amazed. I was very skeptical to begin with, but a month of this, and I thought, okay, this is really happening, but they actually invited me to come and train with them.
And marry their daughter.
Yeah, well, all that stuff. Anyway, that's another story. Anyway, there are lots and lots of different influences and lots of different levels of this, of mediumship. It's a very mixed bag. It's some of it's a bit sketchy, a bit dodgy, some of it's wonderful. But here we're going to go to a different place than what is usually considered mediumship and what is usually acknowledged as mediumship. I did a course with James Heinemann a couple of weeks ago. Actually, in preparation of this, I thought, well, I better go, because I'd never been to evidential mediumship courses. I've always done my own thing. So I thought, well, I better understand where these guys are coming from. And I learned quite a bit. I realized that what I do isn't anything like what they do, other than they're communicating with spirit, and so am I. But how that's done is quite different. Their whole focus is on getting proof, on showing people that there is life after death. Well, I'm sorry, I've known this since I was 15. So I'm now 66. I mean, I don't need any proof. I live it day by day. I know it day by day. I experience it day by day. And I think
we all do.
Many of us do. Some maybe don't. And that's okay. So I'm not, as I said, we're not here to prove anything. We're only here to share our experience, to share our wisdom, to share what we believe is powerful truth. And if you're interested, then I think we'll go somewhere with it. But the angels never force anything. If you don't want it, they're not there. And that's why people don't really know of them. Because the law of attraction works here in your favor or not in your favor. So you've got to have a desire, a deep sense that this is what you want. And in that case, then you attract spirits that are so bright you probably couldn't look at them in their full light. And wisdom that's so deep and universal that we couldn't understand it. But they give snippets, they'll give you a little bit. And I'm just very thankful that I've had the opportunity for most of my life to experience this and to walk this path. And through the different experiences I've had in my life, I realized that this is something that isn't very common or very easily obtained. You got to work for it. It doesn't come just because you want it like that. You'll get a little bit, absolutely. Today, any of you that wants this, you will feel something. But to sustain it, that's another matter. And another thing we'll discuss as we go along. And I hope this is going to be an enriching and uplifting journey that we're going to have together here in this circle. We like circles because the energy flows.
was that for an opening? Was that
Very
good? Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. We are going